All right, what's going on there, people?
Just getting it all set up.
Hello.
All right. Got a couple minutes. What do y'all want to talk about for 2 minutes?
Snow that we did not get. We just got ice.
We don't need to talk about no snow. No,
Never gonna happen.
doesn't need to happen.
Oh, once every few years it'd be nice to make a snowman.
No. I spent the Christmas break in Idaho. Y'all know that.
We saw some snow.
Too much snow, too cold. That's enough snow.
Yeah, give me a second. Somebody ringing my doorbell.
All right, well, hurry up and get finished, and then Terry's got to catch up. No, I'm
Soon as this minute go by, I'm gonna be over there by the kitchen. I gotta clock out.
all right.
Hey, Chef, I'm getting my life together, getting the whole setup with the camera and everything. So just give me 2 minutes. But I'm
That's
here.
fine. Well, see, if it's always just the four of you, if and it may be Aaron, I think isn't available at this time. So if it's really just the four of you, Terry, you were the last one, so you get to sing the song for today.
I just did I'm a Little Teapot. Does that work?
Like
Did
that.
you do all the motions?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. You better be prepared if you're going to ask, man.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. What is it? Here is my handle. Here
Here is my spout.
I got to learn all that stuff now.
You got
I'm a poppy.
grandbaby.
I have to learn all that.
This is second nature to most women.
Okay, is that a fat joke?
What? Listen, while Tara's getting her other device going on, let me ask just a couple questions. Does everybody have pork tenderloin?
Yes.
Yes.
Sam, has everybody already trimmed their pork tenderloin?
No, sir.
Yes.
Silver skin off and everything? Okay,
Yes. Yes.
good. Have you blanched your green beans?
Yes.
I'm in the middle of it.
Okay.
Terry shamed me into doing it.
Ready to go ahead and start my water for that?
Oh yeah. So
Now, Chef.
Arlene, don't rush. Arlene, don't rush and don't feel like you're behind or anything like that. I'll explain as we go. We are not going to be able to finish everything all together in this Zoom right now. So and that's because the pork's going to take a few minutes. The pork's not going to cook really fast. And I'm going to go out on a limb here just a little bit. I know because she told me Tara has an immersion circulator, but does anybody else? I'm assuming not.
Got a pot of water and a thermometer.
Yes, that's fine. I'm going to show you what I call poor man sous vide. Okay. I'm going to show you how to sous vide commercially with the right equipment, and why we do it and what's so cool about it. And maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. This is going to be a good experience, and you will still be able to do it. You'll just do a little bit different. Okay. So while everything's still getting up and going and ready, you need to be in the process of blanching your green beans. You should have minced some garlic. You should have minced some shallot. And you should have sliced about 2-3 ounces of onion, 3 or 4 ounces, 4 or 5 ounces. If you really like onion, you probably have about a half an onion, whatever, but have that already sliced. Some butter that's cubed, diced, or just something cut down a little bit smaller than that whole stick of butter. And that's about it. You should have, and it's going to be enough in that little dish, that little container. You should have some shredded Parmesan cheese.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. You should have some chicken stock.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. While some of you are blanching the beans, remember on your prep list, if I hope I spelled this out, one of your saucepans is for your stock. So put your chicken stock in one of your saucepans, put it on the stove, kind of back in the corner or next door to an empty outlet. Like this. Don't bring it to boil. I've got stock right here. I have stock in this pan where my hand is. Okay.
All 4 cups in there?
Yes. You're going to use about 3 to 3.5 cups of the stock. Those of you that may already have remember, we talked about this before, and today is one of those days where, unfortunately, the culinary school cannot send you home with alcohol.
I was going to ask, I have a glass wine. Would that work? Or does it have to
You can try it. It's going to be a little bit fair. So Jay's got some white. That's fine. Tara's got some white.
I have blush.
That's fine. Don't heat that. Don't do anything with it. Terry's got some white. Good. I'll say we're all good.
Is this or the other one?
So, what do you drink? White wine?
Not really.
Do you drink white
I
wine?
like it when I cook. Not really.
You like the one that you're holding?
I ain't never had this one.
What kind of white is it? Is it a Chablis? Is it a Sauterne? Is it a Chardonnay?
It's a Pinot Grigio. I think.
Okay, Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, and this one is a Chardonnay, and she said it was like a buttery, nutty.
Yeah, you might like the Chardonnay. You might like the Chardonnay better in this.
Okay, I tasted this one earlier, so okay.
Okay.
I agree with Chef. You like the Chardonnay better. Oh, feedback. Sorry.
Yeah.
What about a
Chardonnay's good.
Moscato?
Huh?
What about a Moscato?
Moscato's real sweet. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you don't want to go. Oh, I'm boiling too many now. Not even a simmer. Get it way down.
Is this good?
Y'all ought to be here to smell this place. So, we had a little mix up with Food One carts, and so the product that we cut today was the same product we cut last week, and that's not what I had intended. So today we learned how to make chicken stock, and so I've got about 2.5 gallons of fresh chicken stock that I've had on the burner all day today, and it's beautiful. So, nanny boo boo. We've got a little bit of time. I'll tell you what. We're gonna jump forward just a little bit, okay? And just for demo purposes, I need a little pot of water. So look, Jay, what are you showing?
I was gonna say, is this enough?
I can't tell what it is. What?
Shallots.
That's plenty. Yeah, that's gonna be fine.
So are we supposed to have the sauce pot on with the chicken stock?
Yes, that sauce pan needs to be on with the stock. We need to heat it up, not to a boil, and not just before a simmer. We haven't learned poach yet, but kind of poaching liquid. So it just needs to get really, really, really hot, not boiling, not losing too much to steam. The other sauce pot I had you collect as part of your mise is going to be for the rice. We'll talk about that in a minute, but so that we can go through this process of putting together a poor man's sous vide, and let me explain that. You should have your Ziploc bag, your pork that is prepped, and go ahead and put water. If you got your pork in your Ziploc bag already, that's fine. That's great. Your saucepan for the rice, for the risotto, go ahead and just fill about 2/3 of that pan with water. We're going to dump the water out, but and Jay, your green beans have been on long enough. Your green beans should probably be done. They should be still firm, have a little crunch to them, be pretty bright green. Yeah, take those out, put them in the ice. And you might want to use that saucepan with that hot water already.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna use at first.
Yeah, you might want to use that saucepan. You might want to use that saucepan for your sous vide.
Okay.
Y'all get that stuff together. I'll be back in a second.
He just left us, y'all. He just left us, y'all.
Don't forget to take a picture of your mise.
That's
I
the only
did
reason
that
I
earlier.
didn't
Well, I
have
did mine earlier.
pork loin.
Yeah, I did.
was I wanted to keep it in the container.
I like that pretty blue, Terry.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know about
Well,
you.
I ordered a new stainless steel set. I haven't received it yet.
This was a set I got off of Fingerhood, but it's got way more to it. Like I have another pot where I can steam at the top and cook at the
Right.
bottom, and
Okay.
but it cost me like $2 something off of Fingerhood.
Yeah. And I ordered mine off Sam's. They're sold out, but I ordered mine online and I ordered it about 3 weeks ago and I still have not received it. So I'm using this set instead.
Oh, okay.
Because I
See, I
have a
just,
stainless steel set, but I've had it forever. So I didn't want to use that because, lead raggedy.
oh no.
Welcome back. I return you to our regularly scheduled program. Now, a former instructor just came by and said hi, so I just, had to stop for a minute.
Oh, okay.
You're not complaining, Chef. You do what you need to do.
Well, I do that anyway.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna turn one camera around first. We need to get this started. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build our pork tenderloin bag. The professional way of doing sous vide is putting this in a vacuum bag and vacuum sealing it. Okay. I didn't ask y'all to go get immersion circulators, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Didn't ask y'all to get vacuum sealers. This class is one of those classes where we're going to learn a little bit about some toys that if you buy everything as we go, you're going to end up spending a whole other round of your lab fee plus some. We can easily spend, $700-800 this semester on toys. So this is a way that you can sous vide, but not have all of the equipment. Okay, I'm gonna make everybody queasy as I move this camera around. You'll see my belly. You'll see my knees. I'm gonna move my beans out of the way. And right here, hopefully where you can see, okay? First item up for bid is gonna be my pork. Already trimmed, silver skin removed, season it, just salt and pepper. You are gonna be amazed, I believe, at how simple, not a whole lot of ingredients we're using, and the meal that you're going to end up with, the dish that you're going to end up with. So season it pretty generous, especially with the salt. That's going to come into play later as we put this whole dish together. And I'm just going to cheat and use a glove. Put your pork tenderloin carefully in the bag. So in the world of sous vide, the number one contamination problem is right up here around the top of the bag. And so usually you fold the bag down and then put your pork in. And if you touch the top inadvertently, you're not touching the part that you're going to be reaching into to grab everything out. And where you seal it stays sanitary, stays safe. Okay. Can y'all see that okay?
Yes.
Get my eyes on. Okay.
Ooh, excuse me.
All right, watch that. Erlene, is that better?
Yes, yes.
There you go.
It's all one piece. It's not cut up, correct?
It's all one piece. It's not cut up. You just take that silver skin off.
Right, I did.
One little bit, it's a tendon. So the tendon doesn't cook down very well. And it ends up being real chewy. It doesn't have a good mouthfeel. So we leave that part off. Okay. If you got a little bit of thyme, you got a couple of sprigs, 2 or 3 sprigs, or a little handful of thyme. Did y'all get that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So add your thyme to the bag. So I'm eating this for my dinner, and I'm adding a little bit more because you know what? Thyme and sage and rosemary are just a magnificent combination. And when I grabbed my stuff a couple of hours ago, they just had this sitting out in the product ID, so I grabbed some. But just thyme is great. If you have in your spice cabinet maybe a little bit of dry rosemary, put a pinch of that in. If there are other herbs that you like, that's fine. This is really, really versatile.
Use the chopped rosemary?
Chopped rosemary is fine. Yes, some of it, some of the thyme, some of the rosemary. That's right. I did have you get rosemary. Did you
Had us,
fresh?
had us dice it.
I didn't understand that. Who said that?
That was Jay, and on the instructions, it said, chop
Mince it.
the mint.
Yeah, sprinkle a little bit in there. Some rosemary, some thyme. I just lost my mind. Oh yeah, here you go. A clove, maybe 2 of garlic. If you've minced all of your garlic, just put a little bit in there. Minced is fine. If you still have some whole clove, a couple of those in your bag, that's fine. And let's go about some of these pork tenderloins are really a pretty good size for pork tenderloin. So let's go about 3 tablespoons of butter. That's roughly a third of the stick of butter that you have. Now, watch this. See if I can focus just a little bit better on the one pan with the water. Here's what we're going to do with the Ziploc bag and the pan of water. The water is not, if it's warm, that's fine, but this isn't hot water that's not boiling, okay? This is poor man's, easy man's vacuum seal. When you put the Ziploc bag open in the water, the displacement of the water is going to seal the bag around all the pork and all of its contents, and virtually vacuum seals.
Hey, Sheriff,
Yes, ma'am.
you know that pot of water you told us to put 2/3 water in?
Yes.
I turned it on, so it's hot. So I need to pour it out.
Yeah. Or you can wait till it cools.
So turn the fire out.
Yes. Ice. You can put some ice in it. Just get it down to warm. You don't want to cook this yet.
Okay. Sorry.
You don't want water to get in the bag, but you want the water line to go all the way to the zip.
All the way to the zip?
all the way to the zip. And then you can zip it closed. And it's almost sealed. It's very, very little air left in it, and that's okay. Some air is okay. Yeah, Tara, that's right. Sometimes, like I did, you kind of have to fold the bag a little bit, kind of stuff it in carefully. The water is forcing the displacement of air in the bag, and so that it essentially is vacuum sealing.
Cool.
Sealed. Once you've got the Ziploc zipped, just take it out for a minute. And now you want to bring that. Now, if some of you have added ice.
Yeah, I had to. So do I put it in there now or wait?
Yeah, go ahead. You're going to use, Tara, don't dump that out. Don't dump it. Do we save it?
Do we want to bring it back up to a boil?
So, however you need to do this, if you work better bringing something up to a boil and then turning it down, or you can just bring it up like your chicken stock, if you can just bring that water up to very, very warm. I'll show you how warm. I'll show you the warm that I'm talking about. Move the camera around, so this might not work for us.
Is the
Look, there
zipper
it
part?
is. Say it again.
I'm sorry, is the zipper part supposed to be in the water as well or kind of sticking out?
The zipper part needs to stick out. You'll zip the bag right at where the zipper is just above the surface of the water. Then zip it. And when you pull it out, it's going to essentially be sealed.
Okay, good.
How do we look? We look pretty sealed?
We look pretty sealed.
Good. Good, good, good. Yes, yes, Erlene, that's marvelous.
Can you see mine?
I'm finna order me one of these sous vides.
I can see, yes, Terry, I can see it's in the smaller saucepan in the back burner.
Yeah, I got a big one now, boiling water. Is that okay?
Yeah, the bigger one that has water, it's boiling, right?
Yes, it is.
Turn it down so it won't be boiling anymore. So if you have your thermometer, what we're shooting for, if you can see this, I'll talk about this doohickey here in just a minute, but if you see the screen in front of you, this is called an immersion circulator. And this is the secret ingredient of sous vide, an immersion circulator. Today, they're pretty easy to get. They're common. Stay away. If you're going to buy one, Stay away from the $50 and $80 junk. It might last one use. A good, decent sous vide is probably going to cost you in the 150 up. So it's not terrible as kitchen equipment goes, but just don't get a cheap piece of junk. Okay. I have this for my pork. I have this set at 145 degrees. If you get your water, say between 135 and 160, 160 is going to be a little bit warm. Say 135 to 155. If you're in that ballpark, then you can take your sealed bag and put it in that water. Use your thermometer every, I don't know, maybe every 15 minutes or so, you're going to want to check the temperature of the water. Our goal is to try to keep the water as a constant temperature as possible. So I'll wait until we all get to that point and your pork is in the water.
135 and 150?
Yeah, that'd be great. I have one already in here so that I can kind of move ahead with a little bit of demo. And let's talk about this sous vide business here for a second. As soon as everybody gets all good and ready.
My water is at 180 right now, still.
Okay.
The boiling water, not these sous vide water. Now, Chef,
Hello.
my bag, you see this one right here? It still have like air pockets in it. It's supposed to be completely sealed right now?
So this is, again, I wish I had a better term. I just call this a poor man's vacuum seal,
Right.
poor man's sous vide. So to get a good, proper, what I just showed you, what I have in the sous vide right now,
Yes.
I vacuum sealed in a commercial vacuum sealer. When I do
Okay.
at home, I've got I forget what the brand is. I forget what it's called. I've had it for years. Food Saver.
Oh, okay.
I've got a Food Saver brand. I think we got it from Walmart or Target. But it's Food Saver vacuum sealer. You get it in the homewares section of the store where you buy canning supplies.
Is that okay that we use that for this class?
Yes, but we won't do that again. We won't need
Oh, okay.
to seal again.
All right.
We're going to move on to other stuff. And so there'll be other things you might want to get.
Okay.
For steaming, for poaching, for deep frying.
Okay.
So I've done this before at home, with this Zoom too, and we're able to do everything. We're able to do everything at home with the little adjustments that we make, like this. The one exception might be I can teach you a way, and the plan is at the end of the semester, I'll teach you a way to smoke at home. But, we might want to, that week, we might want to all gather here at the culinary school and do smoking here.
Sounds good.
For all kinds of reasons. When we get to that point, as later in the semester, we'll get there.
Now, my stock that has been simmering, it has reduced a little bit.
Uh,
Do I need to turn the fire out from underneath it?
Turn the fire down.
I did.
Does it seem like it's reduced like very much? Okay to add, it's okay to add half cup of water.
Oh, okay. Let me do that.
Just add it to the stock.
Okay.
Is everybody's pork in your hot water bath now?
No, not in the bath yet, because mine's still hot.
Okay.
Can I put some ice in the water bath?
Yes. Yeah. Do it. So,
Hey, Chef, we use
Sarah, what temperature you have?
I have. At 160.
Okay, put your pork in that water and maybe add 1 or 2 more cubes of ice.
Okay.
Your pork in. That's fine. We don't want it any higher than that, but we don't want it to drop below, I think 135, 140, 145 is ideal. Everybody else is in your water?
Yeah, what are we doing with this boiling water?
You can get rid of that.
Oh, okay.
We never used it.
Well, so we got our lines crossed just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
That was going to be for your pork.
Oh, well, mine's good. Okay.
Okay, but you can use that. Get rid of the water, but keep the pot. You'll do the rice in that.
That's
And if there's just a little bit of water residue left in that pot, that's okay.
And
So, yes.
Are we talking about the pot? Are we talking about this pot with the poor man's food sous vide, or the other pot of water?
You should have a saucepan or a small stock pot that has hot water in it and your packet of pork.
Let me switch pots then.
Okay. You
I'm gonna
should
use
have chicken stock that's simmering.
I have that.
That's the only thing now we need to have going on the stove. Gather, you should have 2 saute pans and a saucepan or the small stock pot, maybe whatever you were boiling water in, that should be empty. You're going to have a saucepan for your pork and the sauce. A saute pan. You're going to have a saute pan for the green beans.
Okay, mine, I'm down to 150.
That's perfect. That's great. Happy days. Now, even if you're finishing everything up, let's talk a little bit about this thing called sous vide. The purpose of this is to cook using the water bath. Water creates a uniform temperature all the way around. Okay, so when you put something in a conventional oven, that conventional oven has the problem of being one heat source. And so it's more radiant heat. It heats from just the bottom, or it heats from, if it's broiling, just from the top. When you use a convection oven, you've got heat, but you have forced air. And so we know now today a convection oven, while it's still more expensive, it's a more efficient way to roast and bake because of the air that's circulating, the hot air that gives a uniform temperature all the way around whatever it is you're roasting or baking. That same principle is at play in the water when we sous vide. And so here we are using an immersion circulator, which is this device right here. Now there's a dial that I can control the temperature up and down. The benefit of this to a restaurant is I can make single servings in small little vacuum sealed packets. I can season, and I don't need to use a whole lot of herbs, a whole lot of seasoning. The vacuum sealing sucks a lot of that stuff into the muscle fibers if it's protein that I'm doing. I drop that bag in this water that is, can you see the surface of the water here?
Yes.
It's constantly moving. This is working a little bit like a tropical fish tank. If
Yes, it is.
you're at home and you had tropical fish, that need to stay at a pretty steady, constant temperature, and there's a heater, and it has to have the tank needs to have some circulation, and so most aquarium filters are circulating the water. You know what I mean? And so you've got a heat source and you've got water movement. Okay, this is the heat source, and down at the bottom where you see those you see the little eyes, the openings down at the bottom, there's a fan that's spinning it. It's kind of like a little miniature boat motor, and that fan is spinning, which is causing the water to circulate. Because the water is circulating, all of this water is being held and maintained at exactly this temperature, 145. This circulator allows me to control the temperature down to a tenth. Actually, this only works in half. So I can go to 145.5 degrees, 146, 147. It's very, very precise. I can do this in my restaurant while I do my mise, and I have essentially cooked my protein. But this won't overcook my protein. This is going to hold at 145 degrees. And as long as I use that protein inside of about 8 to 12 hours, I don't compromise the integrity of the muscle fiber or any part of the protein. I'm not sure. I might have put in Blackboard, I think. I'll have to look after class. And if I didn't, I'll put something up in the resources folder. But I think I put, well, I'll wait till after class and check. If I didn't, I'll make sure I put up in the resources folder a chart that shows kind of cooking times. And that's what, so for pork tenderloin, smaller pork tenderloin, it's going to take about 90 minutes for the pork to reach this temperature. That's a ballpark guess. It depends on, the thickest part of the pork. It depends on how thick that is. We've done this in class in semesters past, and we've had some that take almost 2 hours to actually reach temperature. So it's good to do a protein like a beef or a pork or even chicken at a lower temperature, like you're going to cook it to rare, cook it to medium rare, even if you want to serve it at medium or medium well. A lot of us are kind of, we grew up in a time where pork has to be cooked all the way through. You can't have any pink. That's not exactly true, but we can talk about that at another time. When this reaches temperature, it stays in the water until I'm ready to use it. When I'm ready to use it, out of the water this will go. I'll carefully take the pork out, reserving the liquid that's going to stay. There's going to be some liquid that's rendered out of the pork and the butter that's melted. That garlic, the butter, all of that liquid, the fat, is then going to go in my saute pan, or I'm going to reserve it in the bag. I'm going to sear the outside of the pork. That's going to finish the cooking, and it's going to create delicious flavor. Okay. Listen, I'm going to tell you a term, and we're going to repeat this. We're going to talk about this again in 2 weeks when we do the filet. This term is the Maillard reaction. I think you've had this in the key terms, or you'll have it in the key terms coming up. I just put it in the chat so you can see how it's spelt. Maillard reaction. This is named for a French physicist. He was not a chef. I forget his name right off the top of my head right now, Dr. Maillard. But he discovered one of the amino acids in protein under a microscope has the same crystalline structure as sugar. And it acts like sugar. It's not sugar. It's not fructose. It's not sucrose. But it is a glucosid. It starts with a G, and I can't remember the name of the amino acid. Well, under extreme high heat, very quickly, just like sugar, that crystalline structure breaks down, dissolves, and caramelizes. When that happens really quick, like the crust that happens on the outside of a seared piece of pork, seared fish, the marks from the grill when you grill a steak, those marks are the charring. It's the Maillard reaction that's happening, and that Maillard reaction is flavor. There's a whole lot more to the physics of what's going on that we just don't really study very well. I'll tell you what, nobody needs this. None of you folks ever need this for grade or anything like that. But 25 bonus points. Real offer. So Tara's smiling already. She's going to end the semester with 272% in her grade, but still, this word, Maillard reaction, give me a 3 to 5 paragraph essay, and you have 2 weeks to do it.
Okay.
Before week 6, when we sear filet and we make the filet au poivre, do a little bit of, don't spend a whole lot of time doing this, only 25 extra credit points, but I will give the extra credit if you want to research just a little bit further exactly what this Maillard reaction is. And then 1 or 2 of you, maybe some of you that have the chemical mind and the mathematic mind and the engineering mind and stuff like that, You might get a little bit more out of the glucocosaphatomates, number 12. And I just made up that word. That's not a real word. I'm going to embarrass myself because this is recorded. But anyway, Maillard reaction is flavor. But the Maillard reaction only happens under high heat, and it happens quick. So when we put this pork tenderloin in the saute pan with just a little bit of fat, and you hear that sizzle right when the meat hits the pan, the Maillard reaction is happening. If the pan is too cold and it kind of comes up to temperature, the meat comes up to temperature with the pan at the same time, then you're really steaming. And that Maillard, the flavor is a world of difference. And so Maillard reaction is a good thing. We'll talk a little bit more about it, a little more detail, but if you want some extra credit. And if you email me, please, y'all know me pretty well by now. I will forget, even though this is recorded, I will forget we ever had this conversation in about 10 minutes. And so you might send me this thing and y'all don't hate on me if I answer back, hey, this is great. What was this for? Instead, to avoid this kind of embarrassment, if you just kind of remind me, hey, Chef, this is for my 25 bonus points, then I'll remember. Okay? Y'all don't hate on me.
Never.
I'm just so sensitive, you know.
Put up with so much of my internet stuff. I love you forever.
I keep helping. All right. So next task, because this pork is going to take, we've killed about 20 minutes maybe. The pork's still going to take an hour, a little bit more. We are not going to stay here together for the whole hour. We're going to make risotto together. And then I'm going to show you the pork coming out of the pan. I started mine about an hour ago. Okay. So I have the Ziploc bag that we all did together, but I have one in the water so I can show you kind of the finish. And then we can end our Zoom and you can finish on your own. Okay. How about we do that? Does that sound all right with everybody?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm really
All right.
excited about the risotto.
I love the risotto.
Never had it.
You never had risotto?
No, sir.
Okay. So in cooking rice, in classical cuisine, when we're preparing rice, there is a pilaf method, there's the risotto method, and there's just plain boil the grains. Okay. What is the ratio, little pop quiz, what's the ratio of liquid to grain in just standard long grain rice?
1-to-1.
Do you put
1 and 2.
1 cup of liquid to 1 cup of rice?
2
cups of
cups
liquid to one
liquid to 1 cup rice.
2 to 1, 2 cups liquid, 1 cup rice.
Right.
Now, this is not, well, you can see for yourself. Take a couple of grains of that rice out.
They look like they're puff cereal, kind of.
It looks like teeny tiny puff cereal. That's a good observation.
It is.
Can you tell some of these you can tell better than others? It's almost like there's a little pearl right in the middle.
Right.
The eye of the rice. Don't repeat that. I just made that up. That's kind of.
So we don't go to a big fancy restaurant. I want the eye of the rice, please.
No. This is arborio rice. In the United States, this is one of the 2 rice that we typically use for risotto. Don't make risotto with long grain rice. The starch content is wrong. Okay. This is arborio rice is technically a small grain rice. So it's starchier rice. but arborio comes from Italy. Carnaroli rice is the other. It's not as common, especially in Arkansas. Arborio you can buy from Walmart. It's got a special kind of starch. And so it's how we handle the rice while we're cooking it that makes, how many of you have had risotto? It's creamy. It's like, if you didn't know any better, just good plain risotto is almost like rice and Alfredo sauce mixed up. That creamy sauce is the starch of the rice. It's not cream. We're not putting heavy cream in this at all. That's not what you have cream for. Cream is not for the rice.
You know what it reminded me of when I was cooking it?
What it reminds
Making Rice Krispie treats.
while you were cooking it?
While I was cooking it, you know, when you put the Parmesan in, it becomes, it's somewhat stringy.
Uh-huh.
It's like marshmallow and the rice puffs.
You know what? You just, you ruined my night because I love mini marshmallows and I got some, I love my wife's, that's why I have the diabetes. The treats. I love them, love them, love them. All right.
I do too.
So if you had turned off your, if you've turned off your stock, and if we're going to do this together, then get your stock heated back up.
To boiling?
No, to simmering.
Is this gonna be one that we have to cover?
No,
Okay,
do not cover this rice. Do not just leave it and let the rice cook. That's part of how this is going to end up nice and creamy. It's how we're gonna handle this. So we're gonna do all this together. Okay.
Hey, just so you guys know, that's what it looks like if you go to Kroger.
Hold on. Don't.
Let me see.
I don't see
Let me
it.
see here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I buy the wild rice in that brand.
Okay. So you should have about 5 tablespoons or so of butter left.
yes.
Okay. You need about 1.5 tablespoons left for the green beans. So use the other 3.5 tablespoons. Put it in your empty saucepan. Let's crank that up and get it started. If it's not open yet, those of you that have some wine, open the bottle. Those of you, Arlene, are you going to use that?
I'm gonna try the blush, yeah.
Okay. It's a blush.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So you already have that in a container that's open and everything, right?
Yes, 4 ounces. give
Good.
or take.
Chef,
Yes.
my other saucepan has water in it still, which, is it okay if I use this one?
Does it just have water? Is it empty?
It just has water. I can empty it.
Dump it.
Okay.
Okay, if there's a little bit of water residue left in that pan, that's fine.
So we want the butter in the saucepan, correct?
Butter in the saucepan, get it melting. I can't remember if I got all the equipment on there. I hope I asked you for a ladle. You can go ahead and drop the ladle in your stock. When the butter's all melted, add your shallot. Now, this process that we're about to do is going to take anywhere from half hour to 45 minutes. So what we're going to do, once you've sweated your shallot and it starts to go a little translucent, don't let it caramelize, okay? When it goes a little translucent, they look a little soft, then put in your rice. Give it a little saute. Get the whole thing, each grain covered in fat. When you've got the whole thing, when you've got it all, each grain covered in fat, then let me turn this down just a little bit more.
The shallots go in the butter, and then once they start to simmer, we put the rice in.
Butter, shallot, rice, your arboreal rice. Do not let the rice toast. Don't let the rice get any brown or turn color on it. We don't want that with rice. When this is fully cooked, it'll impart a little bitter note to the flavor, and we don't want that. Okay. Wine.
How much wine?
So I've got just a little bit more rice than you have. I've got some colleagues here at the culinary school that want to eat dinner. And so I put more in. What I'd asked for was 4 ounces, I think. That's going to be good for about a cup. Couple of dark. Now, keep it stirring. This is a time you can't really run off and do anything else. It's the movement, the agitation, the constant stirring that is going to, you can see it just with the wine, where it's starting to get a little creamy. Can you tell?
It's kind of milky.
Yeah.
Mine has to get a little harder, but yeah, I see it.
Now, about a ladle at a time. We can do a little bit more to start. Start adding the hot stock and just add stock and stir, stir, stir. The stirring's going to give us some creamy. We're slowly cooking in the liquid. As the liquid evaporates or cooks into the rice, a little bit of both is going on. Then add a little bit more. So 1 cup of arboreal rice, it is going to take you easily 3 cups of stock
In addition to the wine?
in addition to the wine. So that's why I had you heat up about 4 cups.
So it should not be boiling, correct? Or it shouldn't be simmering.
What, your stock?
No, my rice.
Yeah, it's boiled.
Okay.
You see mine? Can you tell what mine is doing?
Yes.
Yes, it's, yeah.
It's a little whited out, but I can tell it's boiling.
Kind of the lighting in here. There is so much stainless steel in a kitchen that I'll work on that for next time. I've got other lights, but I'm trying to do this in a way that doesn't need a whole big production.
Oh, as it starts to get a little bit thicker is when you add another ladle of the stock,
Yeah,
correct?
as it gets a little thicker, just add some more stock.
So while we're stirring, Chef, when you were doing sous vide in an actual restaurant, let's say you're wanting to do steaks, how would you go about doing that and storing them? Like, do
It'll
you
stay
prep
in the
up like
water.
12 medium? Sorry, go
It'll
ahead.
stay in the water. I would do it to rare. So, you know, do a ribeye. Do a ribeye to about 120 degrees. Not quite 125. And then you can finish it in a broil. You can finish it seared in an iron skillet. You can finish it on the grill. And then that makes that final cooking more for presentation and final flavor development. But the actual cooking was done when you meased for that day's service. And so I introduced you to this semester this weekly prep list. In the restaurant world, you should work, if you're working for a proper chef, for every station, your station is going to have a mise list, a prep list, or a par list. That's usually what we call a list like that. It'll be one of those terms. And it's the chef's job to kind of forecast for the day's service. And so I'm going to guess, based on history in the restaurant, I'm making an educated guess that tonight we're going to need 26 ribeyes. Your job then is to clean and prep. You know, you might take a little more fat off, but you're going to prep 26 ribeyes. And if we're a place that uses a sous vide, then early, the beginning of your meats, you're gonna put those ribeyes in the vacuum seal, one by one individually.
Hey,
Set up your circulator, and you're gonna run
back.
until service is over. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's one of the beauties of sous vide. It essentially pre-cooks, or rather par cooks. I think par cook is better. It's a better term than pre-cook. You par cook, and then you finish it to order. And if you do it just before rare, then you've got plenty of room as far as degree of doneness goes to finish the steak or the chicken or the fish.
What should the internal temp of a pork tenderloin like this be? Not rare, I know, but
Why not?
you get sick. I'm past old school. I'm great old school. No pink in the pork is what my nana used to tell me.
No pink in the pork?
No pink in the pork.
Yeah. That's a myth that's been dispelled about 20, 25 years ago. And it's slow to, okay, hold on. I don't know how well you can see this, but now it's creamy and it's starting to look like rice. I don't have just those, I just don't have the pearl. Now the whole opaque white color has covered the entire grain. It's plump, still has a little bit of a little creamy to it. Before I do anything else, oh, they're also really torch. I've got tasting spoons, like these little things that you use in Highland Dairy puts in those little cups of ice cream. And so I want to get just a few grains. It'll be hot. Yeah, not yet. So when you taste it, you want al dente, like pasta. We want this to be firm, but not crunchy and not chalky as you chew it up. Tried it yet?
Yes, I did. Firm, not crunchy, and not chalky.
Are you there?
I believe so.
Good, you might be. You've got less than what I'm doing right here, so mine's gonna take just a little bit longer.
Is anybody else there?
No.
Okay, Erlene, if you're there, if you're happy with the texture, turn the heat off. turn the heat off, stir in your Parmesan cheese. And season it maybe with a little bit of salt, some salt and pepper if you like. But I want you to get a good taste before you add any salt to this.
With the Parmesan?
If you use good, high quality Parmigiano Reggiano, that is usually enough salt to season this. If you need a little bit more, well, that's fine, that's okay. You can add a little bit more. If you have any stock left, reserve it. Don't trash it yet. Don't throw it out yet. I'll tell you why in a minute.
I'm out of stock.
Well, how's your rice? Is it is
Awesome.
it chewy?
It's great. I love it. It is chewy. It's very good.
I have some extra butter, and so I'm going to use that. And I already know how I like this, so a little salt. And see, I didn't do my me's right. I didn't measure out Parmesan, so.
So chef, what's your favorite add-in for risotto?
I love to do risotto with porcini mushrooms. Now, in the United States, we get porcinis dry, dehydrated.
I have some.
So you rehydrate the porcinis in hot water. And that water, once the porcinis have kind of come back, they're not dry anymore. You can chop them down pretty fine. Now is about the stage that, you add the cheese, maybe a little butter, add those cheese. But the water, so I want to rehydrate the porcinis before I ever start the risotto. I add some of that porcini pot liquor is what it's called. The porcini water, it's going to be gray to almost black. I add that with the stock. And that's smoky, woodsy, and it pairs so well with a Chardonnay and the Parmesan cheese. Beautiful.
Sarah, what's your favorite add-in?
So I like the mushroom risotto. Our family favorite is bacon
Okay.
because
Oh, yeah,
why
yeah.
not? It's bacon.
This tastes awesome. I would have never even thought to add anything to it.
I like to chew on just this.
That's what I was gonna say. If we don't finish anything else, I'm gonna take this to my room and eat it. Soup's on the stove, guys. Go help yourself with the exception of the risotto. And that's relatively easy to make.
Very easy. Just a little bit time consuming. I wouldn't even call it really labor intensive.
No, just,
A little bit time consuming. So
I'm loving it.
I had us starting at about 6:20 on the
It's like
risotto.
It's like
And-
making steel cut oatmeal every morning like I do, most mornings anyway.
You do your oatmeal kind of like this?
Well, my steel cut oatmeal, you have to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah.
like this.
All right. The next item up for bid, I'm gonna, okay, so let's chat about this just real quick for a minute. I'm gonna take the pork out that I've done. You still need probably another, you need to go maybe another 45 minutes on the pork. So that's why I said, if you still have a little bit of chicken stock left, reserve it. And if you're going to include this on a plate, which you should do for your lab, right?
Mhm.
You need a little green beans, you need some risotto, you need some pork, you need some sauce. I'm not telling you how to present it. So you're working on your creativity. Well, between now and say 7:30, 8 o'clock, the risotto is going to tighten up just like any other rice. The starch is going to tighten up a little bit. And so there's a couple of things to know, to keep in mind. If you still want this creamy smooth, you've prepared this in advance. To order, you want to reheat. You could even do this in the microwave. Reheat your a little bit of stock. Maybe add some butter to that stock that you reheat, and then add that, carefully stir it in. At first, it's going to be a little bit clumpy. It'll take a second, and then it'll smooth out. And you basically refresh. You're doing this. You're doing this tablespoons at a time, not cups at a time. It's just a little bit. You want to refresh your risotto to the consistency that it is now. Okay. You'll want to do that right before you plate. You can saute your green beans and keep them in the pan for a little bit while they'll stay hot in the pan. You cut your pork, but if you take the pork out, put it on a cutting board and let it rest, as you were, take the pork out, sear it in a pan, what I'm just about to show you, then put it on a cutting board and let it rest. Make the sauce while the pork is resting. You see where I'm going?
Yes.
We're going to have a few balls going on at the same time. We need to multitask so everything comes out hot. Obviously, I'm not going to see that it's hot on your plate photos.
Can you cover the rice?
Yeah, you can cover it. You should. That'll hold some of the heat in, but the starch is glue.
Right.
And glue gets tighter and tighter and tighter as it sets. So there you go. Just keep that in mind. Okay. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way here. And let's do this dude here for a minute. And whoa. Okay.
Hey, Chef, can I cheat a little bit?
Do what?
Can I cheat a little bit?
What do you mean?
I'm gonna put my meat in my pressure cooker for about 10 minutes, so I'll get done by the time class is over.
No, you don't need to do that. Do you do that?
Huh?
You don't need to do that.
No, I'm asking, like, does it affect it? Like, if I do it for 10 minutes, like, it has 40 minutes to go, and the pressure cooker would take about 15 to 20. If I was to do it in a pressure cooker like this, it would take me about 30 minutes for it to cook fully, like it's supposed to do for an hour.
Well, then you didn't sous vide.
Okay.
You sous vide, part of it,
Okay.
and you're going to finish it. You're going to finish it in the saute pan. And I'm not even sure that this is going to fit in, this is even going to fit in the saute pan. So. Very, very important that you don't lose any of that juice. That's going to be the sauce. Oh, the smell's amazing. It's cooked, right? So I can pull this out on a clean cutting board and I can sear it and I can put it right back on this cutting board. It's cooked and then it's cooked.
Correct.
And this isn't going to take hardly any time. Okay. Good. My one little problem though is
It's curved.
I curled it. May not be able to sear it all the way around. But we'll see what we end up with. I do have a little bit of butter. I am going to add just a little bit of oil. If I combine the butter and the oil, then I change the butter so it doesn't burn so fast. But I also dilute its delicious flavor. So the other option is to clarify the butter. To sear, we want a really, really hot pan because we want this pork to make that sizzle sound right when it hits the pan. Yeah. I don't know. Did y'all hear that?
No.
Microphone is so far away, so
But it looks like it did something.
it's sizzling. Mamma mia. That risotto is delicious. See that kind of crust starting to form?
Yes.
See the glare and the lighting as doesn't show through very well. I'm gonna have to do something about that. You have to remember that this stage right here, this is further cooking the pork. Jay, that's my issue with you going out of the water bath and into a pressure cooker to just speed up the cooking. You can't control that. This is hard enough to control, to do really, really fast. That makes sense? Maybe that'll flatten out just a little bit. Ideal would be to get this color all the way around the whole pork tenderloin. I'm going to let that rest. And then the herbs, onion, garlic, whatever it is that you put in your little packet, okay, be careful because this might flare. I'm adding that directly into the same pan. And this is going to become my sauce.
Okay.
What did you add to the pan? I had to use restroom.
The juice that's from your packet of pork.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Chef, are you, what am I ask? The saucepan that has the leftover chicken broth in it, are you combining the two, or is that for the?
No, I moved that out of the way. I'm going to keep the chicken stock that's left. Was that Terry that asked this?
Yes, it was.
Did you have any chicken stock left?
Technically, no, but I just made some more, so.
Okay, hold on to that, whether you keep that pan or not.
Okay.
Hold on to that because whenever you finish all of this and because your pork, Jay was right, your pork still needs probably 45 minutes, maybe right up to an hour. So
Right.
7:30, 7:45, you want to maybe saute your green beans.
Okay.
Then pull your pork out, sear it and let it rest, and then do your sauce, and then you're ready to go. So you might be going closer to, 8 or 8:15 when we're all finally finished.
Okay.
I'm not going to keep you here all that long.
Okay.
I got a strain on this chicken stock. And
Alexa, time.
So the sauce here is just basically what we've done in the past. This is a sauce that I like for us to do a lot, but it's not the only thing that we'll be doing. In fact, next week you're gonna learn something different. We're not gonna do a hot sauce at all, meaning hot temperature. So most of what you had in that packet is gonna be the butter. I just had in my deli container where I had the wine, I had maybe a quarter of a cup left. And so I put that in the pan to reduce that down a little bit. And so I didn't measure any cream. I still have this whole container. We're not going to use that much, but I got to reduce this down just a little bit further. But I'm going to add the cream to this to make a cream sauce. So to make sure that your sauce isn't too loose, isn't too runny, you've got to make sure that you reduce in the pan before you put your cream in, and then make sure that that reduces enough so you have a tight sauce that you can control on the plate.
Right.
Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Clear as mud? Good.
Yep.
I have only one other thing that I want to mention while this is still reducing. We're almost there. That very last line of this, our weekly reflection. The very last line says, how would you describe this on a restaurant menu? I want you to think like you're the restaurant owner or you're the chef of the restaurant. You've all been to enough restaurants and you've seen menus, how they describe dishes. Instead of just saying something like, hey, this is a delicious pork dish. What is this dish? What's special about this dish? You understand what I'm saying? Give me the wording if you were to put this dish, whatever you're making each week. If you're putting this dish on a restaurant menu, how
So
are
in other
you
words,
describing it on the menu?
In other words, make it sound desirable.
Make it sound desirable and make it sound hoity-toity.
Hoity-toity.
I got
But
you.
look, if I sold you a bowl of mashed potatoes, what are you going to pay for a bowl of mashed potatoes?
Not a whole lot, probably.
You're going to pay me,
Depending on how well seasoned. No, I wouldn't.
you give me $10 for a bowl of mashed potatoes?
No.
No?
My birthright.
Give me $5 for a bowl of mashed potatoes?
How much butter are you putting in there?
Lots of butter.
I'll give you $3.50.
Okay, so Arlene's going to give me $3.50 for a bowl of mashed potatoes.
Well, how big is this bowl?
How loaded are they?
$2.
Not loaded, just plain mashed potatoes.
Oh.
Full salt, pepper, cream, butter. So Jay's $2. Arlene's already won, so that's $3.50. Anybody gonna? This is an auction. I'm auctioning my mashed potatoes. We're at $3.50.
I do love potatoes though.
Anybody?
I'll do
So
$3.99.
ooh, $3.99. Tara's the high bidder. Anybody else?
Well, just because I know the chef.
$4.
I wonder.
$4.
Oh,
Okay,
Price
Terry's
is right
winning
out
at
of
$4.
I'm not paying that much for potatoes.
Terry sold up 4. We're at 4. But give it $4. Going once.
How
Going
many
twice.
ounces?
What?
How many ounces is?
1 cup, 8 ounces.
Yukon Gold, Irish.
Yukon Gold.
I give you
Oh, Yukon Gold.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't it? Hmm.
I get 454.
454. Batter, sweet batter. Who's the next bidder? Okay, now listen. Linda, listen, honey, listen. For reals. How much would you pay for 1 cup of pureed pomme de terre?
Is that
Oh.
potatoes in French?
I don't know. Does that sound like $10?
Yes, it does.
It does.
It's the same dish.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Now, I'm
Yeah.
asking y'all overnight to go learn culinary French or culinary Italian or anything like that. But I want you to start thinking about, because one of these days, and I realize maybe for you four, I don't know what your future holds, and you don't know what tomorrow looks like. If you're going to be the chef in a restaurant, you are going to be writing the menus. And writing the menus, it's more than just what is the food that we're cooking and what's the combination of the foods. You have to write the words that your guests will see. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Oh, very much so. So in other
If
words,
you're-
make it very poetic.
You can call it poetic. You can call it, I just call it using your words to sell your product.
I got you.
And $4, what did we make? Jay got us to $4.54
Yeah.
for a 1 cup bowl of mashed potatoes.
But the chef has to eat with her.
Pretty quick that $10 is a reasonable price for pureed pomme de terre. So it's knowing words, using words. And so that line is less about describing your dish and you tasted it, what was your experience. It is exactly, this is the chef's special for this Friday night. How are you going to word that on your menu? What do you
Damn good
call it?
taste.
Well, you could call this ham and potatoes, and except we don't have any potatoes. You can call this rice and piggy pig or something like that,
No.
or describe it a certain way, make it sound appealing, make it sound desirable, and that's all I have to say about that.
I got you.
Questions about what's left to do and where you're going and what's happening?
What do with our green beans?
You're saute them. That's why I had you blanch them. So blanching is something that you're going to do a lot to vegetables as in the prep stage, so that when you're ready to plate, saute is quick. Your green beans will probably take 3 minutes.
You do that with the onions and the rest of the butter?
Yes. A little salt and pepper.
Okay.
Simple. See how all this today, especially few ingredients, very, very simple.
Yes, very much.
I'm done unless somebody has a question, a comment, a complaint.
What do we put in our risotto to loosen it up again? Butter?
A little butter, if you have some extra butter or you want to put some butter. But if you have a little bit of chicken stock left,
Okay.
yeah, if you have a little chicken stock left, then when it's time for you to plate, you're a good probably 45 minutes away from that.
Right.
So you'll want to refresh your risotto a little bit.
I'm afraid there's not going to be any left.
If you're eating while you go, you're not in the kitchen. You're not here. If you were here, I get on to you because we don't eat in the kitchen while we're cooking.
Oh, I'll take it in the living room.
Okay. Anything else from anybody?
No, I had a question about an assignment, but I'll type it. I'll text it to you or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, just text away.
Thank you.
You can disregard my text. I sent one earlier.
Okay. I don't have my phone on me. I haven't had my phone around pretty much all day.
Well, thank you for class. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good night.
All right, good night.
Thank you. Night, girls.
Good night.